The morning sun barely crept over the cul-de-sac when my world cracked open. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, to find my daughter Ellie's car of pride, her canvas of swirling stars and dreams defaced. The word freak screamed in dripping red paint across the hood, a VY Saya stab at the scar she wore from a childhood accident. My heart sank, not just for the car, but for Ellie, my 17-year-old fireball who'd turned her pain into art. I'm Jack, a 50-year-old single dad, just trying to keep our little life in this cookie-cutter suburb from unraveling. But someone had crossed a line, and I had a gut feeling it was Helen, the HOA queen with a smile as fake as her highlights. What she didn't know was a news chopper had been circling her yard the night before, catching her every move on camera. That footage was about to set her perfect little empire on fire. This neighborhood, with its manicured lawns and nosy neighbors, was ruled by Helen, a 60-year-old tyrant who wielded her HOA clipboard like a scepter. Our cozy, split-level house, tucked at the edge of the street, was her favorite punching bag. Why? We didn't kiss or ring. Our mailbox was 2 VY brand. Our sprinklers ran a minute too long. But Ellie's car, a beat-up sedan she'd painted with cosmic murals, was what really got under Helen's skin. The day we parked it in our driveway, a neon green VY Olation notice, reeking of her rosewater perfume, appeared. Unapproved vehicle aesthetics, it read. Repainted beige or face adieu, law 500 fine. I showed it to Ellie, bracing for tears. Instead, she laughed, her eyes glinting. Dad, she's just mad her life's as dull as dishwater. That's my girl unbreakable. I called Helen, hoping talk sense. It's art, Helen. It's not hurting anyone. Her voice was ice. Jack, this neighborhood has standards. That thing tanks property values. I hung up, fuming, thinking I'd fight it at the HOA meeting. Big mistake. Helen's attacks didn't stop at the car. It was like Ellie's confidence was a personal insult to her reign. One day, she slapped us with a due law 75 fine because Ellie left paint cans on the porch for an hour while sketching. Clutter. Helen sniffed when I confronted her. Clutter? It was my kid's passion. Another time, she claimed our azaleas were too unruly and needed trimming to match the neighborhood's cohesive look. Unruly? They're flowers, not a biker gang. It felt like Helen saw Ellie's spirit as a threat and was hell-bent on crushing it. I tried playing nice, dragging myself to an HOA meeting that smelled like burnt coffee and despair. Helen ran it like a dictator, her lackeys nodding along. When I brought up Ellie's car, she cut me off. Jack, we're discussing fence heights. Your daughter's project isn't a priority. Project? It was Ellie's soul on wheels. One neighbor, Marge, even muttered, maybe teach your kid to blend in. Blend in? Ellie was a comet, not a shadow. I left feeling like I'd been gut-punched, but Ellie just grinned when I told her. Dad, she's scared of my spark. Let's shine brighter. But Helen's hate turned uglier. Whispers started nasty ones. At the grocery store, I caught snide remarks in the neighborhood chat about Ellie's scars ruining the community image. One neighbor, egged on by Helen, said, that girl's face makes people uneasy. My blood boiled. Ellie, who'd heard worse, brushed it off with a smirk. Dad, they're just mad I'm fabulous. But I saw the flicker of pain in her eyes, and it cut deep. I marched to Helen's sterile McMansion, which smelled like bleach and bad VY Bess. Stop spreading lies about my daughter, I said, voice low. She smirked. Jack, I'm just voicing concerns. This is a classy neighborhood. Classy? It was a mean girl act, and she was the ringleader. I started fighting smarter, digging into HOA bylaws for loopholes, talking to neighbors for allies. Most were too scared of Helen's wrath, but Tom, a retired mechanic next door, was done. He'd been fined for his unapproved birdhouse and had no love for her. Jack, he said, sipping coffee on his porch, she's a VY purr. Watch her back. She's not done. He was right. Helen's petty fines were just the appetizer. I never imagined she'd go full VY lane and deface Ellie's car. It was a quiet Friday night, crickets humming, the moon bathing the street in silver. Ellie was at a friend's, her starry sedan parked in our driveway, glowing under the streetlight. I was inside, half asleep to a cop show rerun, clueless about the storm brewing. Helen didn't just cross a line that night, she spray-painted it red with the ugliest words she could muster. Around midnight, I heard a faint hiss like a tire leaking. I brushed it off, probably a sprinkler, but something felt wrong. Peeking out the window, I saw her, Helen, in a dark hoodie, creeping toward Ellie's car with a spray can. The street was silent except for the saw of paint as she scrawled "freak" in jagged letters across the hood. It was a dagger to Ellie's scars, a cruel jab at the girl who dared to shine. She glanced around, thinking she was in VY Cybele, then slunk back to her mansion, Leah VYing the air thick with paint fumes. What she didn't know was a Channel 7 news chopper, filming a traffic report, had caught her every move in high def. I slept through her crime, VYS. At dawn, Ellie's scream jolted me awake. I bolted outside to find her by her car, hands over her mouth, tears streaming down her scarred cheeks. "Freak" glared in red, the paint still wet, pooling like blood. "Dad, who did this?" she choked out. I pulled her into a hug, my own eyes burning. "We'll find out, kid. I swear." She wiped her tears, her jaw setting. "They think I'm a freak, but they're the monster." That fire at her voice broke me and rebuilt me. I checked our security camera jackpot. Helen's hooded figure, caught at 12:03 a.m., painting her hate for the world to see. I was ready to storm her house, but Tom jogged over, coffee mug in hand. "Jack, hold up. My buddy at Channel 7 says their chopper got footage of Helen last night. They're pulling it now." My jaw dropped. "A helicopter?" Tom grinned. "Yep. She picked the wrong night to play thug." The footage arrived by noon, and it was dynamite. The chopper's bird's-eye VYEW showed Helen skulking to our driveway, shaking the spray can, defacing the car under the moonlight. Our security clips sealed it, catching her face as she lowered her hood. I showed Ellie, expecting tears. Instead, she smirked. "She looks like a knockoff Spy VY Lane. Let's bury her." My heart at no kid should face this hate, but her strength floored me. Tom suggested we go public. "Get that VY Deo to news," he said. "Helen's toast if this airs." I nodded, but Ellie had a bolder idea. "Dad, let's turn this into art. Display the car to show. Show them I'm not ashamed." Her eyes blazed, and I knew we were onto something huge. We planned an outdoor art exhibit, with her car as the centerpiece, to call out Helen's bigotry and rally the neighborhood. Helen, clueless about the chopper, had the nerve to knock on our door that afternoon. "Jack, I heard about the incident," she cooed, fake sympathy dripping. "Probably some punk." I stared her down. "We know it was you, Helen. We've got VY Deo." Her face twitched, but she doubled down. "That's absurd. You're unhinged." She stormed off, her heels clicking like a countdown. Ellie's tears had lit a fire in me that could have torched the whole street. With her courage, Tom's connections, and a neighborhood sick of Helen's reign, we were ready to turn her throne to ash. First, we made sure Ellie was okay. I sat her down with hot cocoa, checking for cracks in her spirit. She was shaken but fierce. "Dad, I want to make this bigger," she said, paint-stained fingers drumming. "Let's show her I'm not hiding." I nodded, pride choking me. Tom came over, his mechanic's cap tilted like he was ready for battle. "Jack, that chopper footage is gold," he said. "My guy at Channel 7 says they'll air it if we give them a story. Let's make Helen squirm." I grinned. "Let's make her melt." We locked down the EVY Denke. The chopper clip showed Helen's every move, clear as day. Our security footage was the cherry on top, catching her smug glance as she fled. Ellie watched it, her jaw tight. "She moves like a cartoon VY Lane," she said, then smirked. "Let's make her the star of her own flop." We sent the clips to Channel 7's producer, Mike, who was thrilled. "This is huge, Jack. We'll run it at 6 p.m., but we want Ellie to speak." Ellie nodded. "I'm in. Let's show them who I am." We built our case. Tom called in newsroom favors while I dug through HOA records, finding dirt Helen had waived fines for her cronies' tacky lawn ornaments but hammered others for nothing. Neighbors shared their stories. One, Sarah, had been fined for her wrong mailbox color. "She's a dictator with a blowout," Sarah said, handing me violation notices. We got statements from 3 others, plus a kid who'd heard Helen call Ellie's face disturbing at the park. Every piece was a bullet, and we were loading up. Ellie's plan was fiercer. "Dad, let's do an art show," she said, eyes blazing. "Put my car out front, paint and all, and call it freaking proud. Show them I'm not scared." I loved it. We planned the exhibit in our front yard, with Ellie's paintings, fairy lights, and the car to call out prejudice and raise funds for an anti-bullying charity. We spread the word through the neighborhood chat, usually a snooze of lost dog posts. "Art versus hate," I posted. "Join us." The chat exploded. Neighbors pledged to come, some offering snacks, others promising their own Helen horror stories. Even Marge, one of Helen's lackeys, texted, "I'm done with her. Count me in." Tom worked the media angle, pitching Artist Fights HOA Bigot to Channel 7. Mike bit, scheduling Ellie's inter-VYEW with the footage. Tom also suggested we hit the HOA meeting hard. "Show the clips, demand a vote to boot her," he said. "The neighbors are ready to revolt." I printed screenshots, stacked our EVY Denke, and prepped like we were going to war. Ellie sketched posters for the exhibit. "Dad, let's make it loud," she said. She tried to silence me. "Let's scream back." I ruffled her hair. "You're a Fours kid." The neighborhood buzzed. The chat lit up with anti-Helen Memisone, showed her as a witch with a spray can. Sarah dropped off a list of Helen's shady HOA deals, like funneling funds to her pal's landscaping company. "Use this," she said. "She's been fleecing us." Even Carl, an HOA yes man, whispered support at the mailbox. "I didn't sign up for vandalism," he muttered. Helen's empire was crumbling, and she had no clue. By the exhibit afternoon, our front yard was a riot of Color Ellie's canvases, twinkling lights, and the car, its freak scrawl now framed by her fresh paint swirls, turning hate into art. Neighbors gathered, cameras out, and Channel 7's van rolled up. Ellie stood by her car, head high, scars gleaming under the sun. I clutched the USB drive, ready for the HOA meeting the next day. Helen thought she could break us, but we were about to paint her world red. The sun dipped low, and Ellie's freakin' proud exhibit pulsed with life. The crowd was bigger than a block party, her starry canvases and scarred car stealing the show. Ellie spoke, voice steady. "This car is my story. No one writes my ending but me." The applause roared, and I saw Tom wipe a tear. We raised $3,000 for the charity, but more than that, we turned Helen's attack into a battle cry. She didn't show probably cowering in her mansion, but her absence was surrender. That night, Channel 7 aired the story. HOA hate, teen artist targeted. The chopper footage led, Helen's spray painting freak like a lowlife. Our security clip followed, her face clear as she fled. The anchor's voice was grim. "This vandalism has sparked outrage. Ellie's inner VYEW stole it. My scars don't define me," she said. "Helen's hate does." Social media blew up, the freak-in proud trended. Strangers sent Ellie art. Helen's Rosewater Fortress was no match for the internet's fury. The HOA meeting was our kill shot. The community center was packed, the air thick with sweat and rage. Helen sat front and center, her blowout a shield, clutching her clipboard like a lifeline. I stood, Tom and Sarah beside me, and plugged in the USB. "Helen vandalized my daughter's car," I said, voice steel. "She targeted Ellie for her scars. We have proof." The room hushed as the chopper footage played, Helen's spray and hissing on the projector. Gasps turned to boos when our security clip showed her face. She tried to lie. "That's not me. It's a setup." But Sarah waved our EVY Denke HOA records of her shady deals, neighbor statements about her bullying. "You're done, Helen," Sarah said, tossing her fine notices on the table. The crowd turned. Carl, her former crony, stood. "I'm ashamed I backed you. This is VY Low." Neighbors shouted their grievances, fines for planners, threats over kids' chalk art. Tom called for a vote to oust Helen. Hands shot up, a tidal wave of eyes. Helen's face collapsed, and she bolted, heels clacking like a routed army. We elected Sarah president, who vowed no more paint fines or car shaming. The cheers shook the walls, and Ellie, in the back, flashed a thumbs up. We didn't stop. With the footage and statements, I filed a police report. Helen was charged with vandalism and harassment, hit with a $2,000 fine and 150 hours of community service. At the hearing, her crocodile tears didn't sway the judge, who ordered her to pay Ellie Dula $500 for emotional distress. Ellie donated half to the charity. Helen's mansion went up for sale soon after a neighbor's glares were too much. Her name became a punchline. Ellie? Unstoppable. She kept her car, as is, Freak, now a badge of VY Tory, and landed an art school scholarship after her exhibit went VY Rel. Neighbors commissioned her paintings, and Sarah's HOA axed the car color rules. Our street felt like home again, not a jail. Ellie summed it up. Dad, we didn't just win. We made room for everyone to shine. I hugged her, prouder than ever. This fight taught me something raw. Bigots like Helen thrive on silence. But when you hit back smart, loud, together they crumble. Don't let hate dim your light or your kids. Grab your truth, rally your people, and paint the world with defiance. So what's your take? Was Ellie right to turn her pain into a public spectacle? Or should we have kept it quiet and let the law handle Helen? Have you faced an HOA bully who went too far? Spill your wildest Karen stories below. Hit that like button and subscribe to join our crew all about calling out tyrants and cheering the bold. Let's keep shining.